Hello again, Mark Ricketts, President and CEO of National Church Residences. And I want to take a little bit of time here in this podcast to introduce you to a longtime employee, Makita Hunt. As you know, there have been, I think I've got a count here, somewhere around 19 staff people nationwide that have come down with COVID-19. Very early on, it was incredibly emotional for me because I didn't know the climb that we were on, and I didn't know the treatments. And the initial people that got it, the first 4 or 5 people I was calling personally to extend, my sense of empathy for them, to give them courage, to thank them for their service. And one of the people that I called very early was in Michigan. It was Makita Hunt. Makita has worked for National Church Residences, I think, for 15 or 16 years. She came to us when we acquired a portfolio in a management company in Detroit called Wingate. Makita is a regional director of property management, managing affordable housing campuses in Michigan. Real loyal supporter of the organization, a committed leader, and a great friend. Makita is going to share her story, a little bit of how she contracted the disease and how she's battled through it. She returned to work on Monday. I think she was off for 6 or 7 weeks fighting this, and I'm sure there were moments that scared her. And as I think about all of us having that anxiety, those fears, I think about the healing that we're going to need to go through, perhaps beginning today or maybe beginning in weeks, but the healing of how our mind and our body and our spirit can heal. And Makita will share her story, but I want to remind you that we have an employee assistance program I think they'll be connected to this podcast, or you can get it from our website, for all employees that need that additional support. Perhaps it's chaplaincy. Perhaps it's just some kind of a counselor that could guide you through things. Perhaps it's more important that you get some kind of a therapy. Our employee assistance program will pay for that. We'll pay for that to help you heal. Our chaplains would love to be engaged. So as Makita tells her story and it resonates with you, I would ask that you would reach out and use those resources. We don't provide them to get credit for it. We provide them so that you'll use it and it will help you heal. Thank you for the work you're providing to our mission and for the commitment you're making to the seniors that are in our care and support. And everything you're doing, I just want to tell you that you're advancing better living for seniors, and you're helping those seniors stay home for the rest of their life.
Thank you, Mark, for that great introduction. I'm truly glad to be back to work and servicing our seniors. So I tested positive on March the 25th. I was able to come out of quarantine after 15 days. As I began to recover physically, because I'm asthmatic, I began to have more respiratory problems. I then had to have several weeks of respiratory therapy. I was not able to walk long distances. Just a short distance from my bedroom to my bathroom was challenging. I thank God that I'm here today to be able to share this story. If there's one or two takeaways that I learned from this process, it's we have to support the family members that help those that are suffering from COVID-19 get through it. The second thing is most people don't realize the mental stress that it puts on the patient, the person recovering from COVID-19. Yes, we've all been quarantined for months, a couple of months now, but it's different being quarantined to a room versus being quarantined to a home or being quarantined and still being able to go outside. And it's very mentally draining. So if you know someone that has been quarantined for a long period of time, please give them a call, say a prayer. I tell you, prayers have gotten me through this situation, days that I didn't think that I would even wake up the next day. The prayers got me through. So I hope that this story helps and educates and supports those who are still going through it. Please know that God can get you through it. And I've been talking to my team for the last day and a half, just trying to call on my sites and just check in. And really, the conversation has been, what was it like? What did you feel like, going through it? Just so that they can understand. But for my sites that are dealing with it on a more continuous basis, they were much more apt to ask questions about what did it feel like? What was it like? How did you get through it? What are some of your recommendations? What kind of tea did you drink? It was just simple questions like that they were asking that I can give that education response on. So for an example, Clinton Place has had a large number of residents that have tested positive, some have passed away. And the staff was asking, what did I do as far as I didn't have an appetite, didn't have a smell, didn't have taste, but I drank at least 4 cups of tea a day on top of bottles of water, kept myself hydrated, and then the warmth of the tea helped break up the virus in my chest. So it's those little tips that I can give that help me bounce back to my team to help them stay safe, stay healthy, and be empathetic to what their residents and maybe even family is going through. I'd like to take a moment to thank our corporate team for reaching out early on in my illness. I received several texts and phone calls just wishing me well. I know that there were prayers also being shared throughout the corporate team. I want to take a moment to thank Tanya Biggs for sending out a PPE care package. It really, really helped a lot, and just making sure that I had masks and my family had masks, as well as we had a thermometer, just to help keep us safe. So I want to take a moment and thank her for taking the time to send us that care package. And as for my staff, who's been awesome through this whole ordeal, they've taken the time to send me a text or a card in the mail just to say that they were praying and wishing me well. So I thank the Michigan region for all of their well wishes.